All right, I just wanted to do a quick little video for the channel here. So if you've seen some of the recent videos, you know my buddy's truck out here, and we're working on it over there. It was running a little erratically, and the idle was just kind of out of whack, and the idle adjustment screw wasn't doing its thing. And when we would rev the motor, no matter where we set the idle, it would rev up fine and drove fine on the road and everything. And then when it would come off idle, it would just lose it and stall pretty much, or barely recover. And I was trying to figure out what in the heck, because it was running fine after we put the motor back together. And so I noticed that when we turned the ignition key to on, that you could hear the fuel pump running, and that's not supposed to happen. And so I thought, is there something wrong with the pressure regulator? We checked all that, and I started thinking, oh, you know what? I know what it is. It's the air flow meter. And sure enough, my buddy dropped by the house, and we checked this, and I said, I think I know what it is. I think it's this contact. So if you see my other videos, or you ever mess around with your airflow meter, inside here, see that little contact right there? When the motor starts running and it starts sucking a little air, this door, and we're talking about this little door that flaps open when air starts flowing through. And you can kind of see it on how it's constructed on the bottom. But I'll get to the bottom in a second. But so I popped the little lid off, and the way you do that is you got to be super careful. But you just run a razor blade. You want to make sure you don't accidentally go too deep and start cutting through stuff. But you can break the little seal and then just pry it up carefully with a screwdriver. You can see kind of the old silicone is still on there. In any event, we got in there, and I noticed, oh, you know what? This thing is not resetting back where it should, and you can see how it's supposed to work. You take your finger off, and that spring resets. Well, in his case, we would move it over here, and then take my finger off, and it would just kind of and stop right there. And then I'd have to push it over. Well, what's happening is this little arm is supposed to be disconnecting. That turns on and off your fuel pump. So the fact that I was hearing the fuel pump running when he turned the key to on told me that it's got to be probably either this or the circuit opening relay itself. So we did some testing and then pulled this off, and sure enough, it wasn't coming back. And that causes several problems. Not only does it keep your fuel pump running when it's supposed to turn off, and you can see that's the little contact on-off right there, and I'm talking about that little points right there. So, but when this thing is not turning back freely, or it's binding up, excuse me, when it's binding up, it's sending back erratic information to the ECU, and that raises hell with your idle. So when we started digging into this, it just wasn't turning freely, and so we're trying to figure out what in the heck is going on here. And previously we had messed around with this and sprayed some silicone in to get it working. Well, we decided to go further in, and that's what this video is about, is what happens if you pull this cover off. Now, pulling this cover off is a little bit tricky because it's held on with a bunch of little screws, and I want to show those over here. And what these are is, if you look at these, see how this particular screw has a little round dot on it? Well, what that is indicating is that this is not a Phillips head. This is a JIS, Japanese industrial standard screw, and it's ever so slightly different than a Phillips head. Now, if you go to remove all these screws to pop this cover off, and you go at it with a Phillips head screwdriver, what's going to happen is it's going to cam out ever so slightly and round off those screws, and you'll be effed. Now, the screwdriver that I use is a special Japanese one, and they have different ones. I'll put the link to the Amazon, but this is the little guy who fit in there perfectly, and we had to apply a lot of pressure down and twist to crack those things open. Once you get all the screws off, there's some sealant that's holding this guy down, and what you got to do is you got to get in there with a kind of a blunted off razor blade, and you got to pry against these little edges and get in under here, and then kind of work your way around, and eventually it'll start to come up, and you got to apply a little bit of pressure. But the good news is once you get this guy off, you can see some of this corrosion lurking around, and you can get in there and clean that. But more importantly, you can get in here and clean all of this. And some of this corrosion here, the oxidation of the aluminum. Oh, and by the way, be careful, because this is your air temperature sensor, so you don't want to accidentally mess that up. But what happened with his particular case was up in this little, let me spin it around here. I think up somewhere up in this little seam between the spinny part, the door part, and the stationary frame kind of housing, I think there was some corrosion that got up in there. Now, I don't know how the heck Toyota got this assembled, but we're not taking it apart any further, but we didn't have to. What I ended up doing was you can kind of pull this up and push it down, and you can kind of feel it it's kind of hard to show on camera. You can kind of feel it move up and down, and if you push it down and twist and pull it up and twist, you can kind of break away the corrosion that's up in that little pivoting mechanism. Now, I would not recommend taking any of this stuff on top apart. However, when I started doing, and you can kind of see it, when I started doing the little moving around, you can see the corrosion that fell out from the top side. So basically just, press it down and grind it and pull it up and grind it, and it'll break free the corrosion internally, which is preventing it. As soon as we did that, man, this thing started moving like a champ. Zero resistance. And previously it had a little binding right in here and right in there. Okay, I think we're under attack. Let the plane go by. All right. But you can see now, you can just see now it's just moving like a dream. And I think this is gonna really allow the truck to run way better. So, like I say, this is the first time I've opened one of these this far, so I wanted to just kind of show the routine here. And I was very curious. I thought there was going to be a lot more underneath this, or some sort of pivoting point, but this part is just a lid, a cover. So for anyone who's having kind of weird issues, and if you track it down to this door not moving freely, maybe this will kind of give you a little bit of a roadmap to how to fix things. I would not recommend using any grease or lubricant or silicone or anything like that, because not only can it dry later on and put you back to square one, but it can actually gather up, debris and create like a little grindy mess in there. So air compressor, pushing things up and down. Now, I will say I used a stainless steel wire brush to kind of clean some of these surfaces, but from what I can see, it's back in business 100%. So I think it's going to really help the computer, the ECU on the car, get an accurate reading for airflow. So for anyone who's kind of struggling with weird idling issues on their 22RE or their 4Runner or anything like that, this oftentimes is the culprit, and you just need to kind of make sure that this little guy is spinning very freely, and that this little spring can do its thing and stuff. So just want to put that video out there. So, okay, if you got any questions or anything, feel free to use the comment section below, and thanks for watching.